been working with the City of Northampton and the Department of Public Works, as well as the Northampton Energy and Sustainability Commission, to investigate the feasibility of implementing a renewable energy system on the Northampton landfill.
So the landfill generally receives between 32,000 and 49,000 tons of waste each year.
Since the landfill is going to be completely capped and closed in about 2 years, they won't be accepting waste anymore, and right now they're generating revenue through that acceptance of waste, and so they'll be losing all of that money, all that income that they usually get every year. So they're just looking for new ways to use the land effectively and in a way that will help generate some revenue for them.
Most engineering programs across the country have some sort of culminating design experience. And the idea behind the term design clinic is that it mirrors a medical student's clinic experience, where they would get practical experience using their medical skills. And the idea is for engineering students to get some engineering skills in a very applied way before they graduate that gives them a flavor of the kind of work that they would be doing as engineers, not just in a classroom setting.
Just wanted to acknowledge the fact that we got some of the emails that you had sent out to us. The cost of, we had been going back and forth with Chris this week, talking to him, because we've been having a little bit of trouble getting cost information for installation and maintenance of the arrays.
Coming into the project, we had the understanding that they wanted us to design a renewable energy system, when really they wanted to be informed of a feasible renewable energy system. Our presentations received a lot of questions that helped us to solidify our final deliverable, and it allowed us to figure out what was missing from our project, because they did ask some very good questions.
There are a lot of skeptics about the 3 types of renewable energy that you mentioned that you're trying to work with here. So how will your design be an answer to these skeptics?
You mentioned a payback period. What payback period are you working with that the DPW tends to use for their projects, or have you not determined that yet?
You've provided design specs basically for this project. So would they build according to what you've provided, or this just to help the DPW decide what would be a good? Okay, so it's the latter.
Once we had started the project, we recognized that there was going to be a significant amount of community involvement and desire for the community to know what was going to happen for the future of the landfill. Over the past 8 months or so, we've been looking into the feasibility of implementing some kind of renewable energy system on the Northampton landfill. And specifically, we've been looking at solar, wind, and biomass crops as potentially feasible. What we can see is that even if we increase the elevation up to about 70 feet, we still aren't getting typical wind speeds above that cut-in wind speed that's necessary. We determined that wind probably isn't a viable option at the landfill. As a result, we turned to looking into biomass crops. So what we found was really the only amount of root depth that we have is this 9 to 12 inches of topsoil that's at the top. And as a result, we decided that biomass also really isn't a recommended renewable energy for the landfill. Our concept design shows that it is feasible to generate solar energy at the Northampton landfill.
We use this device called the Solar Pathfinder. It has a glass dome that projects the surrounding shading onto a chart, which will tell us how much shading there is during each month of the year.
This dome that we put over the top kind of concentrates the sunlight from all 360 around us. And so when we were down on the side, the trees were shading some of this. And so when you looked down on it, you could see that there was a tree line, tree shadow.
So this is telling us that there's no shading up here.
Our team then looked into the bigger social and economical benefits of implementing solar energy on the landfill, and considered how the city would then benefit from the implementation of a solar array by a third party.
This semester was very fulfilling, being able to have a final deliverable of a design project that is very likely to be implemented within the city of Northampton.
The liaisons that we had at the Department of Public Works were fantastic and helped us a lot, and were really more like mentors than they were clients. So I learned a lot from them, and I hope that our project helps them in continuing with it in the future.